What is up, guys? We are live at our new regularly scheduled stream time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every Wednesday. I'm a little late today on the first day of it. It was a long day. We had a late emergency C-section, so I had to go and do the spinal anesthesia for that. So it took me a little longer to be able to get on here with you guys, but we are on, we are live, we are going. Hello, everybody. Good evening, Caitlin. So tonight I want to talk to you guys. The title of this video is "No one is born a doctor, but everyone can become a doctor." And I started thinking about this today because I was reading and I came across this really good line, and it was, "What's up, Michael? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step." And I thought that was so poignant for some of you guys who are trying to get to medical school, who want to become doctors, and it seems like 1,000 miles, and it seems so far, and it seems so unattainable, so unapproachable, and so difficult. And it's because all you see is this big, long journey ahead of you. And what I want to encourage you to do is, in multiple ways in your life, take it step by step. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Frank. Hello, Decorian. Hello, Kai. Hello, hello, hello. I want to encourage you guys to take it step by step in a lot of different ways. And the first way I want to encourage you guys is everyone starts in a different place, wherever it may be. And oftentimes it can seem intimidating when you feel like you're inferior to other people in some way or another way. So maybe you aren't good in the classroom. Maybe you don't have extracurricular opportunities. Maybe you don't have the finances. Maybe you don't have the family support. Whatever it is you're lacking, right? So whatever you feel deficient in, I want to encourage you that you may see people and feel like they're 1,000 miles ahead of you, but that you can get there, but you have to do it at your own pace, at your own rate. And it starts with taking a step. And you can't just say, "Oh, they're ahead of me," and just give up. Because I feel like that's a lot of what you guys do is you say, "Oh, well, I'm not good at this." And so you avoid that. Or, "Oh, you know what? I can't do that because I've got this." And instead of looking for a solution and getting very, very creative, and I'm not saying that every solution is easy and obvious and right there in front of you, but how many of you guys are actually sitting down and truly troubleshooting your lives? And not just a little bit of your life, but every part of your life. And I'm big time successful in things that I want to pursue. It's not bragging, it's just what it is. And when I go out and I do talks to schools, I did 1,200 students the other day. So a couple weeks ago, I did a keynote for 1,200 students. So a full auditorium, 1,200 students. And I'm giving this talk, and everyone, it's always funny. I get in front of audiences, and there's always this apprehension about me because I always lead off with my accolades. I want everyone to understand that I'm very successful in the room. And I tell people, listen, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. When I say all that, and people get like, "Oh, what's this going to be like? This guy's, kind of cocky, whatever." And the reason I tell you guys that I'm hugely successful, the reason that I have all these accomplishments is not to make myself feel good. I don't need the confidence boost. I'm clearly very confident, right? The reason I tell you guys this stuff is not because I did it, but it's because of the fact that I did it and I am zero. I am nothing. I came from very little of a foundation, and I have amassed tremendous success through hard work and dedication and being diligent and strategic with the way I approach things. And so I say all these things to inspire you guys so that you can understand, if you're starting anywhere above ground, you're ahead of where I started. And so if you are just sit down and break down your life and figure out what your weaknesses are and find solutions, you can be 1,000 times better than I am at anything. Except for studying, you'll never catch me on that. But other things you can catch up, you can be a hugely successful Stanford grad. You can be better than me, you can go to whatever school you want to go to. But some of you guys got to get out of your own heads and really start recognizing you're not going to be great overnight, right? So I get these emails. "Oh, hey, I got this struggle here, but I know that if I just fix this one thing, then everything will be all good. Like, this one grade is what's keeping me out of medical school." And it's not, guys. There's a lot of things that have to take place. And a lot of you guys are scared to make that step, to do those steps, and you don't know how to get started. And so I want to encourage you guys, the way to get started is not necessarily by just blindly going into things, but is to really sit down and reflect and just make a list of all the things that are wrong in your life, all the things that you're weak at, all the things you want to improve on, and then literally create a web map of ways to think about, okay, well, why is this a problem? Do like a root cause analysis. And so a good example of this is with reading, right? So Anybody who's heard me talk knows that I am the world's slowest reader. So these videos I actually like the live better because I don't read well. So when you guys take my courses and it's 7.5 hours, it's 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever it is, none of that's being read. That's me just looking at a slide and then just talking. Why? Because if I were to try to read something while I was talking to you guys, we'd be here all night, right? I read very, very slow. And so that was something that was wrong with me, that I felt like, you know what, my reading ability is holding me back. And what I did was I wrote down slow reading. And then I really broke down, okay, well, slow reading, what is the problem with slow reading? Right? So I went deeper than just, oh, I read slow, it's a problem. Well, what's the problem with slow reading? Well, I have 1,000 pages to get through, and I can't get through them all if I read slowly. So I was like, okay, so it's really a time factor of cumulative time I have to study. So then I said, well, can I increase my reading? And I troubleshooted a whole bunch of things. I took classes, I did all these different things. I've read all about speed reading. I've done all these different things. And none of it really improved my reading beyond where I was because I am, at baseline, a remedial student. I couldn't get any better than I was, right? So instead of focusing on that, I said the big issue is the lack of time. So I sought other ways to free up more time for me to read. And so by getting very efficient with the other aspects of my studying, I was able to create more time for me to read, and my slow reading became less of a factor. Additionally, I developed tactics. So to say, listen, if I'm going to read slow, it's fine, but let's have a strategy to make sure that I don't have to read slow twice. So I'm only reading things once. And so I got really creative and came up with all these things you guys see in my study courses and all these different things to get super efficient with my time that allowed me to have that extra time I needed to read slow, to be effective despite being a slow reader. But it didn't happen overnight. I didn't become a super student overnight. It took baby steps to that 1,000-mile journey. And so start there when I'm talking to you guys. If you guys get what I'm saying, like this video right now. But it all starts, dramatic improvement doesn't happen overnight. That's why we love these weight loss infomercials. Like, oh, put this waist trainer on and instantly you're going to be a thin, skinny model. Yeah, sure, right? Or you guys see, I saw Cindy Crawford or whatever her name is. Is it Cindy? Cindy Crawford. Cindy Crawford. She was on one of these late night infomercials. I was up there night watching this, and she's selling a skin product. And I'm like, okay, cool, you're selling this like youthful skin product, but how about all the plastic surgery and fillers you had on your face? I think that kind of helps more than that organic oil of melon that you're putting on your face, right? We want the quick fix, but the real solution comes in the work. So just start with a step and then get there. The other way that this is crucial is when you guys are thinking about your path to medicine, right? It seems like a long journey. And at the same time, you guys feel the need, because it's so long, to rush. But understand that it's all baby steps getting you there. And so don't put this artificial pressure on yourself that, oh, I have to, because it's such a long journey, I have to rush. I have to get everything done. I have to rush through undergrad. I have to apply early. I have to, I can't wait till I'm really actually prepared and competent and competitive to apply. I need to apply right now. And what you guys do is you sabotage yourself first by stressing yourselves out, right? You put all this pressure on yourself, all this pressure. You feel so stressed out, so strung out because you're running 1,000 miles an hour to keep up with those other people who are on a different lane than you, on a different path, right? They're in a position to go straight through. That's fine. They're in a position to rush. But if you're not in a position to rush and you know it and you're rushing anyway, how bad does that feel? Right? It feels terrible. It's crushing, right? It's like, gosh, I can't get this off my chest because you know you're fighting a losing battle. So what I encourage all you guys to do is recognize being a doctor, you're going to be in training forever, right? I'm in like my 50,000th year of training and it's never going to end. Never, ever. So understand that it's a long journey. So there's no rush to get there. And like you just said, Mulkey, stay in your lane, right? Stay in your own freaking lane and don't be looking out your side eye vision at the car next to you that's doing something different. You got your own lane, your own speed, and your own path, and that's okay. That's acceptable. Embrace who you are. I have no shame about saying I'm a slow reader, that I'm basically hooked on phonics. I have no shame about that because that means every academic success I've worked that much harder for and I can take that much more pride in. So no one ever shames me about that. I'm a non-traditional student. No one's ever going to shame me about my gap year because in that gap year, I bettered myself. Put myself in a position to be successful in medical school. Put myself to be in position to be successful after medical school. So everything I am is the sum of my experiences, right? what's that Kanye song? Everything I am makes me everything I am. Peanut butter and jam or something like that, right? It's it's some song like that. But everything that happens to you, everything that is you, I embrace wholeheartedly. And if there's something you don't like about yourself or something you want to make different, then make it different. But you have to be comfortable with who you are and what you bring to the table. If you feel bad about your accent or you feel bad about your speech impediment, and there's people like that who they'll try to shame you about your speech impediment. And I want to let you guys know there's plenty of doctors with speech impediments, with disabilities, all these things, right? So someone sent me an email asking, they said, listen, I'm very obese and I'm concerned going into medical school that people are going to look at me as the fat medical student. What is this guy teaching people about nutrition? And if you're big, if you're overweight lover like Heavy D, that's just who you are, right? You can lose some weight and bring it down and do all that kind of stuff, but you're never going to be happy, even if you lose the weight, unless you're comfortable with everything else you bring to the table and everything else you bring to the plate, right? Like, I walk around scruffy. I don't care because I have enough confidence in everything I bring to the table. I don't need people's approval. People say they hate my channel. People say they love my channel. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. If people are improving, that matters to me. I'm not on here to be popular and to be like, oh, everyone, like, because I get the recommended videos on my YouTube team and I see these people who are medical vloggers or whatever, right? And they say, oh, day in life of a medical student, or how to study 10 tips to study in medical school and whatever the freak. And I look at these videos, they get 17,000 hits. I'm like, tremendous. And then I open the video and there's no information in there. It's the most basic stuff I ever heard in my life. But you guys will watch it because it's entertaining and they splice the video and do different things. I'm not in this to be popular. I'm in this to help students. And there's some of you guys will get that and other people won't. They can go on to some other channel and make that channel popular. I really don't care, right? I want you guys to get better. And so that's what we talk about. So understand who you are, where you're at, and make those strides to get better, because it can happen. The last thing I'm going to say, and then what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off and we're going to come back and do a Q&A in just a couple minutes with you guys, is that there is like 1,000 miles. There's 1,000 things that go into your medical school application. 1,000 things. Quit focusing on the one thing you think is keeping you out of medical school. It's not. You have bad behaviors, you have a bad track record, you do bad stuff every day that culminates in bad results. It's not one thing. So please understand what is happening in your life that's going wrong, right? Get to the root cause of it and figure out what is going on in your life that's problematic, right? Figure out what your habits are that are causing problems and that are leading to these bad results. Don't just think about, oh, I got a bad grade. What really happened, right? So think about that. We'll come back in a couple minutes and do some live Q&A and get at it. So thank you guys for hopping on here. Get back on here in a couple minutes and we'll chat it up on some live Q&A. Thanks, guys. Oh, also real quick for relief, premedproductivity.com. You guys know the website. Courses right now, you cannot enroll in my courses. I'm holding it down, locking it down for the people who are currently in my courses, but eventually you guys will be able to enroll, so keep checking back, and then check out my events page for when I'm in your area, coming at you live action. All right, guys, coming back to you in a couple minutes. Later.